hand rising. I had a request for shoulder fascial release. So I'm gonna hop on. Well, I'm inspired. And you can stay standing, you can be seated, you could be cross-legged, you could be on your knees, you could be up higher. But we're just gonna start by pulling the shoulders on the back, pulling the belly button to the spine on your exhale, allowing the belly to expand, your body to expand in every direction on the inhale. Again, shoulders on the back, we're going to lift the crown of the head towards the sky, stacking our shoulders over our hips. And then if you're standing, your hips are over your heels, finding that mountain. When we breathe out, making a conscious effort, I'll even put hand support here, to not let these bottom ribs flare out. And that encourages our diaphragmatic breathing. And that oxygen to go down into our solar plexus region. Even reaching down to the sacral. It's a lot to remember. Again, the shoulders over the hips over the heels, knees slightly bent. And points in the big toe mound and the little toe mound and your heels rooting down through the earth, down all the way to the core of the earth, and pressing down into that earth to rise up tall to the sky. Looking up to the sky, slight back bend if you feel called, pulling your belly button to your spine when you're back bending. Keep your body safe. And then exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips, flat back. Feel that all the way down. And here you can hold opposite elbows, rock side to side, rock back and forth, or for that heart opener, shoulder opener, elbows behind the back, hands behind the back, finding length in the spine from crown to tail. Still breathing expansively into every direction, even as our belly is kind of contracted in this shape. Bringing the hands down, step back, downward dog. I'm going to come off the blanket. And here we're bringing our knees bent as much or as little as we need to, and then fingertips and palms planting into the earth and bringing our ears in line with our arms. Finding length from the crown to the tail, allowing the shoulders to drop on the back. And then coming forward to a plank, dropping the hips down. Looking over the left shoulder, squeezing the glutes. Looking over the opposite shoulder. Really pressing the palms and the fingertips into the earth of the mat. Rolling out the neck, each direction. And then tucking your toes, pressing back, child's pose. Knees can be together or apart. And then from here, you're going to bring one hand center line, and then bring the opposite hand either back up like this or back to the small of your back, your opposite hip, and then look over that shoulder. Still breathing, and we stay in each shape for a little bit to activate that fascial network, that release. And then looking over the opposite shoulder in the same shape. And then returning to center, taking like an arch, cow shape, round through, cat, and then coming back down, we'll place the opposite hand center. And then when you're ready, turn, bringing that opposite hand to opposite waist. Looking over that back shoulder. Noticing the difference on each side. Come to the small of your back if you like. Your arm can be extended. Not what my body is calling for. Finding length from crown to tail. Looking over the opposite shoulder. Allowing any sounds to escape. Returning to center. Coming to hands and knees. Table. Finding that length from crown to tail. Rooting the fingertips and the palms into the ground. Knees into the ground. Activate your glutes. And when you're ready, tuck your toes. Step back. Press back into downward facing dog. Stepping through, low runner's lunge, but so your knee can be up or down. Actually down probably to start, because when we're trying to get into our heart space, our shoulders, it's always locked up with our hips, right? So we open up through the shoulders, we're able to open up through the hips. We open up through the hips, we're able to open up through the shoulders. So you're finding this swaying motion back and forth. Dropping opposite ear to ear to shoulder. Moving mindfully with your breath, and then coming back up to that knee popped up. Bring in that back foot and press through, straightening both legs in this pyramid shape. Finding length and flat back, and then rising up. And here, now we're just going to bend the front bend the front knee, step forward a little bit. And we're going to take our left hand center line and then wrap our right hand underneath. Bring the palms to touch if you can, or the backs of the hands. So like this. This is eagle arms. So again, we're pulling the shoulders on the back, kind of pulling our elbows towards our knee, our front bent knee, and then bracing that core. Breathing expansively in every direction. And then step together, unwinds. So we have left like this, opposite. Then we're going to step back the opposite to that lunge. Pulling the knees, hugging the knees. Front knee towards the elbows. Tall, lengthen the spine from the crown of the head all the way down to the tail. Shoulders down and on the back, feeling the difference. Each side. Then winding down, coming through that lunge, knee up. You can find that rocking motion. You can have your knee stacked over your ankle, but when we're not weight bearing, it's okay to come forward with that full range. Then coming down, planting the back knee, that low lunge, finding that rocking side to side. Coming back down. Releasing the hands behind the back. Hands up overhead. Coming on down, we'll do crocodile. We'll bring the legs up. Windshield side to side. Your hands are just stacked, head down. Then coming up, placing the elbows and the forearms and the hands onto the ground. And then imagine that you're pulling the elbows towards your hips and kind of lifting up out of your hips. Again, dropping the shoulder, ear to the shoulder, shoulders stay on the back. Breathing in that space in between every vertebra and every disc. chin to chest, heart center. And then look on up. And then again, bringing left hand to the body midline. We'll grab this back foot, hugging it, but opening up through the shoulders, the front heart, body. Pressing the elbow and the hand into the earth. Staying for as long, as little as you like. Breathing into it. Release. Other side. Actually, you could take a moment, wiggle that out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. And here we go. Right hand center or opposite hand center. And if you don't want to fully grab your leg, you can just even bring, hi Jade, we're almost done. Bring your hand to your hip. Look over the back that way, which is what my body's calling for on this side, noticing the differences. Hi, I know, I love you too. And then coming on down, flip over to the back. Knees bent, windshield wiper side to side. This last piece that we're going to do, reclined figure 4. Draping the one ankle over the opposite knee, interlacing the hands behind, and then pulling your knees, feet flexed towards itself, and finding stillness or rocking motion. Staying with your breath. Back down, opposite side. Noticing the difference in tightness on each side. If you feel called, interlacing the fingertips behind, pulling that opposite of those legs closer to you. Still maintain that length down the back of your spine. Shoulders rest on the ground. Staying with your breath, finding stillness or movement. Rocking side to side or back and forth. And then if you have a pillow or a bolster or even a towel that you can roll up, I invite you to take it and put it so it's right here underneath these shoulder blades. So now you're going to open up like this into like a heart opener because you've got that support underneath your shoulders. And just rest into that space. Your knees can stay bent or they can lay flat. Seeing what's good for your lower back. Breathing in. Just resting here for a few moments. And then staying here for as long or as little as you like. But the next space we're going to do is we're going to lift up, pressing our heels into the earth, lifting our hips up